Surviving a week in Air Force Special Operations. In a little hole by the side of the road that wound through a pine forest, two airmen took refuge in the shadows. Their objective was a railroad station across the street, some 80 yards distant, which they had to keep an eye on for indications of enemy activity every day. Although it was daring to approach so closely, the narrow ridge line where they had excavated their hiding place prevented them from seeing lines from farther into the forest. Even though the airmen were ultimately captured by the enemy during this training exercise, the awkward ridge demonstrated why special reconnaissance is their chosen career path. All types of reconnaissance are taught to SR airmen, including using drones, cyber warfare, crawling through swamps, and using sniper scopes. Their goal is to give air power planners precise and timely intelligence, even if it means surreptitiously entering an enemy's front lawn. This little hill that makes a very big difference is not going to be picked up even with satellite imagery, stated Captain Max Krasnov, a special tactics officer and flight commander with the 352nd Special Warfare Training Squadron. The SR Apprentice Course is housed at Pope Army Airfield, North Carolina, where the unit is based. Krasnov told Air and Space Forces magazine, "If you're back 200 yards, you can see cars drive by, but that's about the level of fidelity you can get. Their level of boldness will depend on our requirement that they positively identify a man with a mustache and a limp in his left leg. It takes special abilities to sneak up on a victim, particularly in this area of North Carolina where there is little vegetation and a carpet of pine needles that crunches beneath your feet. Though it may seem insignificant, possessing the ability to move strategically through forests is a talent," Krasnov stated. "When you go hunting and spend hours perched in a tree, you might wonder how the deer managed to get there. I didn't see it approaching, nor did I hear it. It almost seems like someone really good could accomplish that." On October 24, 2023, at McCall Army Airfield in North Carolina, a trainee from the 352nd Special Warfare Training Squadron fast ropes out of a private H-225 Super Puma helicopter. It was the first time a helicopter for a few trainees. Run, walk, and crawl. Airmen have been preparing to join Special Tactics for months before they ever get to Pope for the SR and Combat Control Apprentice courses. The rigorous Special Warfare Assessment and Selection course, and the Special Warfare Candidate course, both held at Joint Base San Antonio-Lackland, Texas, are the first two courses in the pipeline, putting applicants through rigorous physical training to see whether they can handle the demands of the job is one of the course's objectives. Several schools around the nation offer pre-dive swimming in water confidence, static line parachuting, free-fall parachuting, and survival, evasion, resistance, and escape (SERE) training to those who make it through the examination and selection process. The 4-month apprentice training is where the journey continues. Krasnov stated, "The diving and jumping that gets you to work. When you get there, you do this course. This is a crawl, walk, run situation." After learning how to use a map and compass, students begin to navigate through the woods, which is a novel experience for those who have grown up with GPS-enabled cell phones. In addition to learning how to navigate around a battlefield and position themselves in a team fight, they also learn how to handle a firearm properly and shoot accurately. They eventually become adept at small unit tactics, such as ambush and bounding. After an exercise, one instructor said, "If you're doing an L, you've got to make it an L. It can't be, I don't know, whatever that was." To ensure that they can support you effectively, you must keep track of your geographic location about your support by fire while you're making these large flanking movements. Better spoken than done, as fictitious artillery rounds detonated all around them, and smoke grenades turned the surrounding air pink and purple. Students were forced to shout directions through gas masks. A layperson would hardly be able to spot the students in camouflage among the foliage. But the whole point of this training is to teach you how to function under such disorganized and pressure-filled circumstances. "It's not hard to learn how to program a radio," Krasnov stated. "We need people who can reprogram a radio in the middle of a firefight when they're hungry, cold, and haven't slept in 2 or 3 days." On July 20, 2023, during Tactics Field Week in the North Carolina Woodlands, students pursuing careers as combat controllers and special tactics officers are required to save team members from a mock capture. Bread and butter. Approximately 25% of Pope students typically intend to enlist in the SR, with the remaining students pursuing careers as combat controllers, CCTs, specialists in coordinating aircraft with ground operations. While the students work together on many abilities, like small unit tactics and terrain navigation, they separate to work on skills unique to their respective vocational fields. The SR Airmen are trained in long-range shooting with the M110 rifle, weather observation, intelligence processing and reporting, equipment and techniques for surveillance and reconnaissance, and stalking lanes, where they construct ghillie suits out of grass or other ground cover to blend in and learn how to move around covertly. Text J, an SR instructor whose full name was omitted for security concerns, commented, "It looks super cool." When you finally give it a try for the first time, you find that it is unpleasant, especially in extremely hot weather. People are unaware of how attractive ghillie suits can be. She clarified that to avoid the instructor's trained eyes, students must approach a truck full of teachers covertly and get near enough to recognize the letter on placard one of them is holding up. If satellites are down or the airspace is too highly guarded for aircraft observation, SR Airmen may have to do this challenging but necessary duty of infiltrating deep into enemy territory. According to Krasnov, SR Airmen must get to a location the enemy doesn't want them to be, without them knowing, even if they use cyber or electronic warfare. Beginning with little quadcopters, the size of dinner plates, the SR students get an understanding of the fundamentals of operating small unmanned aerial systems. Despite being simple to fly, operating drones effectively in an undercover military operation necessitates a deep understanding of various concepts, such as safe operating range and timeliness. Counter-drone techniques adversaries may employ to evade drones' thermal sensors, and how many spare batteries to bring for a mission. The apprentice school is essentially only the beginning for the graduates, who will train for a further 6 months in a dedicated tactics training squadron. Operating fixed-wing drones and using top-secret cyber and electronic warfare equipment are examples of advanced SR talents. During the Special Reconnaissance Course near Hurlburt Field, Florida, in September, a U.S. Air Force Special Tactics operator looks through binoculars at a target. U.S. Air Force image courtesy of Staff Sergeant Rose Gudex. Best friends. A final training exercise lasting a week is held at the end of the apprentice term, during which CCT and SR students showcase the abilities they have learned over the last 4 months. Students typically start the exercise by parachuting into a simulated contested location. From there, they have to set up a forward operating station and carry out follow-on tasks, such as hitting a target or seizing an airfield to land a C-130 or drop supplies and troops. Students can practice the fundamentals of their various career disciplines in this exercise. SR students may have to surreptitiously approach a target and gather intelligence for an ambush, while CCT students may have to create and manage an airport or request air support. There is a 15-mile ruck march back to the base to complete the training. It takes effort for both students and teachers to reach graduation. These students will be on a team with all of the instructor's best friends in a year, Krasnov said. As a result, teachers have an incentive to perform well. First and foremost, the teachers want to ensure that they won't kill their pals. Furthermore, every friend of theirs is aware that we bear the responsibility for the caliber of the students. Therefore, they don't want their friends to criticize them for turning out poor students. Thanks for watching. Kindly like and subscribe for more videos. In the comments section of the post, please tell me how many you discovered.